welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to read a story titled, Am I the A-hole for wanting to close my open marriage? And guys, this story is written by a woman. She's 30 years old and losing her mind because her wanting to have an open marriage 5 years earlier hasn't exactly worked out the way she wanted. You're going to see that she's been with her husband now. They've been together for 10 years and married for a good portion of that. Way too young. And one day out of the blue, she proposed the whole open marriage thing. And her husband, very foolishly, reluctantly goes along with this. And no surprise, from the get-go, she's out left and right with Chad and Tyrone, but he's not out with any other women. Probably he was heartbroken over this whole thing. And then eventually, for reasons you're going to find out, she wanted to abruptly stop the open marriage. But this guy, at that point, is like, nope, not happening. Because guess what? He found a chick. One chick. She had many dudes. He just wanted one chick. And he's having a good time seeing her. And now she's losing her mind. Woe is me. He's the bad guy. Blah, blah, blah. And that'll be a good one to go over here, guys. One, entertaining, because she gets a taste of her own medicine. Once again, these things never work. And if your girlfriend or wife brings it up, believe me, it's over. She doesn't love you, because no wife or girlfriend who loves their guy would want to hook up with other dudes. Okay? No, not happening. And wouldn't want him with other women. And it's absolutely likely she already has guys already in mind, ready to go, or she's already cheating. And this is her way to get around it and to, technically not cheat. You should end it right away. And if you don't, it's going to turn into an absolute mess. Either you're going to divorce right in that moment, divorce or break up in that moment, or you're going to do it down the road when things inevitably come crashing down. So that'll be an entertaining one to cover here today. She says, my husband, a 30-year-old male, and I, a 28-year-old female, have been together for over 10 years. About 5 years ago, I asked if he would be interested in opening our marriage. There you go. They've been together since she was 18 and he was 20 years old. Open marriage. This is when he should have ended it with her. Since we started dating kind of young, I hadn't really gotten the chance to date, and I wanted to experience SCX with other people. Then you shouldn't be married, honey. I had no intention to leave my husband. I just wanted to explore. He was a bit hesitant, but agreed. Smack to the husband for going along with that. Guys, you should never do that. One, guess what? Either she already has somebody planned or is cheating already. And do you really want to be with a woman married to her who wants to go hook up with other dudes? And she says, I have no intention of leaving my husband. Well, no kidding. That way she can have her cake and eat it too. They got him pay the bills or help pay the bills and have that ring on her finger and not have to go through the scandal of a divorce and go F other dudes. What a great deal for her. And this is why guys shouldn't put up with this. But don't worry, she'll get it in the end. During the time our relationship was open, I dated 2 guys, but my husband didn't have much luck. Well, no kidding. It's a lot easier for a pretty girl to get guys than a good-looking guy to have gals to just, fool around with. And I might add, he was probably hurt by that. Probably didn't want to see other women. I'm not sure if this is because he wasn't trying or just him being unlucky. About 3 years ago, I became pregnant and decided I didn't want the relationship to be open anymore because I want us to focus on our family. Oh, okay. How do you know this isn't one of her lover's kids and her lover wasn't going to stick around? So she now wanted to close the open relationship to have her husband take care of this kid. Well, we kind of discussed it, but I hadn't officially closed it. So you call the shots? After our son was born around 2022, I became more certain that I wanted to close the relationship, but my husband said he didn't want to. Hey, you got to have the open relationship. You got to F a bunch of dudes. Hey, your husband gets a say here. I was a bit taken aback, but I tried to be understanding. He made a remark about being in some sort of hypersexual stage in his life, and since I knew I wasn't feeling quite like myself anymore since the pregnancy, I tried to just accept his want to continue to be open. However, I still kind of felt like we should be more focused on our family. Oh, now you want to be focused on the family. Now that, you had your role in the hay with multiple dudes. She said 3 dudes. That probably means 10. Now he's having fun. Notice the second he has fun, that's when she wants to close this thing, when there's a threat. And again, whose child is this? This guy should be doing a paternity test. Good Lord. I tried kind of dating a guy for a bit, but I didn't feel like the same anymore. And once again, I went to my husband asking if he was ready to close the relationship. He says if I wanted to close the relationship now, it would be a problem, which I didn't understand. I asked him if he was seeing someone. He told me no. It seemed a bit odd to me that he would be so adamant about our relationship being open if he wasn't, but once again, I let it go. So this guy obviously is a weak bitch. Let's be honest here. I mean, he agreed to this, and he's obviously seeing somebody else, but he's just not telling her that, you know. And if he wants to give her mental gymnastics, that's okay, because she deserves it, but still. After the conversation, I kind of felt like he was trying to punish me because he didn't really want to be in an open relationship when I first suggested it, but I feel like if he didn't want that, he could have just said no. Well, if he was supposedly punishing you, do you think he deserved it? And notice she knew darn well he didn't want to do this, but she went along with it anyway. Does that sound like love to you? I think not. I don't feel like I pressured him into our relationship being open, but I do think he wasn't super into it. Yes, you did. You knew that he was probably clearly afraid that if he said no, that you would leave. That's what happened. This guy's a scarcity mindset, doesn't think much of himself, and his actions are telling me a lot. He knew, and you knew, so don't bullshit us. However, when I would check in with him, he was just kind of whatever about it. I can see how I was wrong for not closing the relationship then, but at the same time, when I would ask him if he wanted to close the relationship, he would be kind of sarcastic, and upon further discussion, just say it's fine. Nobody's going to be whatever about their wife sucking other you-know-whats and all that. Come on here. So I can see how I should have just taken that as a sign to close the relationship, but I didn't, and I see now how that was selfish. Oh, now you're seeing yourself as selfish, honey? However, it feels like I've been clear since my pregnancy that I want to focus on our family. When we didn't have a child, it felt like it didn't matter because we didn't need to be concerned about another person, but now that we have a child, I'm not comfortable or know how to manage an open relationship in a way that will not have detrimental consequences on the children. So when it was just the two of you, you didn't care about the detrimental consequences on your husband, but you care now that the kid's in the picture. You're trying really hard here. Again, paternity test? I really wanted this baby as this dude's child. I'm not buying it. So for about a year after our son was born, he was adamant about the open relationship continuing even though I wanted to close it. And I did my best to be understanding even though I did not like it. Too bad. It was your idea. You make your bed and you lie in it. I actually started seeing someone about 9 months ago, and I didn't like it, but he said he just wanted to have his fun like I did. Hey, she had her fun with way more dudes than she's mentioning, so he's allowed his. Now, guys, of course this is a disaster, and they should divorce and go their separate ways, but still, this is amusing. Okay, fine. He told me she'd be moving, so it only lasts about 4 months. Fast forward 4 months, and he told me that his plans changed, so she would still be around for another 4 months. Yeah, he's messing with her. During this time, I learned I was pregnant with our second child, and so I really started to feel like I wanted him to be more present to support me through my pregnancy, since we already had a toddler. Again, how do you know this is his kid? And how do you know she probably got pregnant on purpose, poking some holes in condoms or whatever, to make sure this guy didn't leave. I once again expressed this, and he told me that she'd only be around until January 2025. Now I'm annoyed because I'm due in October, and he's making it seem like it's not a big deal, and he wants to continue seeing her when we have a newborn and toddler to care for. Well, you made out like this whole thing's not a big deal, so he's allowed to make it out like it's not a big deal. Guess what? You don't call the shots, but she thinks so. I told him that it's really not fair, and that I don't like it because he's really pushed back the date, and it feels like his exploration with the woman is much more emotional invested than he's leading on. In these stories, these women really freak out because the guy gets emotionally attached or involved with the women they start seeing. The women just want to hook up with lots of dudes, and they love the attention and validation and the butterflies and the excitement of the newness of everything, when the guy all along just wanted one woman. So he eventually starts seeing other women or woman, and that's all he wants. And they go bananas over this because they realize they're going to lose their guy. I also worry that January will come and he's going to tell me that she's staying longer. He's talking about only seeing her 2 or 3 times a week once the baby comes, but that seems like too much to me, and I'll be healing from delivery. And we already have 2 kids under 3 years old. You make your bed, you'll lie in it, sweetheart. I definitely feel like he's too emotionally invested and is starting to feel like he's cheating on me. He's cheating on you. You're really actually saying those words. You're the one that wanted to open the relationship to have a technicality. You were cheating on him when you're hooking up other dudes. A marriage is not one where each party goes out and F's other people. Okay? He should have ended it with you immediately, but you have no reason to bitch and complain. But she's going to do it anyway. I know that sounds ridiculous because we are technically still open, and I feel like since he didn't do more exploring in the beginning, it's not fair for me to close the relationship when he seems to be having fun now. It is ridiculous. You're ridiculous. But common sense, and then there's her feelings. What do you think is always going to win? The feelings. However, no one was stopping him from exploring before we had kids, so why now? Maybe he wasn't exploring back then because he was so heartbroken and just numb, heartbroken then numb, that his wife wanted to go after other dudes. That can do something to a guy, to his heart, to his confidence, and then probably eventually he just lost all interest and became indifferent. Said, okay, I'll ride this train for a while, and he's having fun now. I told him I can't do this anymore, and I cannot accept him continuing the relationship past September. He told me that it was too bad because he has no intention of ending it. Would I be the a-hole if I decided to divorce him? Now she wants to divorce him? That's rich. What am I supposed to do if I'm no longer comfortable with our relationship being open? You two should have divorced a long time ago. If you wanted to F other dudes because you didn't explore enough when you were younger, you should have divorced a long time ago. But you're not because you're a selfish a-hole. You want every cake and eat it too, and it backfired, honey. She says, as a little update here, she says, overall consensus is that I'm the a-hole. I agree. I appreciate all your comments and suggestions. I just feel guilty of possibly divorcing him. Like you all said, I did this to myself, so now it almost feels wrong to not accept the consequences. Thanks, everyone, for your input. Yeah, she was getting torn apart in the comment section. I love it. And she deserved it. She is a selfish a-hole. And she deserved what was coming to her. But, yeah, there should be a divorce, regardless of who initiates it, and end this mess and move on. Maybe she'll learn something, who knows. But she's also in her 30s now, and it's not going to be as easy for her to... She can definitely, at 30 years old, even if she had a couple kids, if she's remotely pretty... Let's be honest here, men are pigs. We all know this. And pretty much most guys will bang any chick that's under 200 pounds and has certainly showered or bathed within 24 hours. Most guys will do it, as long as their buddies don't see, him with her. But so she could probably get guys to sleep with her, but to get an actual relationship, that's gonna be a lot harder, especially now divorced and a single MOM with 2 kids. Good luck there. So this is why she wants to make sure her guy doesn't go anywhere. But he'll have no problem if he gets his shit together. So I think this is pretty funny here. So you're an a-hole. It's a big mess. The husband's an a-hole too because he went along with this, but now he's actually redeeming himself by being funny and messing with her. It's time to part ways and move on. And you're both going to be okay, or at least he'll be okay. Now some comments for a wrap up this silly story. One guy says, man, that was so many words, all to say I want to hump whoever, but now I'm mad that my husband is doing precisely what I wanted to do. You not only wanted unilateral decision-making power for when you could screw the whole neighborhood without consequences, but you wanted the power to tell your husband when he could and couldn't do the same. If he said no to the open marriage to begin with, you would have left him. But now you're salty that he's laying the pipe to someone he likes, even though you spent years doing the same thing. Exactly. The reason he went with this is because he was fearful. He was blindsided, obviously, then fearful they'd lose her, but he already lost her. You want suggestions? Don't get married so young, and don't start having kids when you're not even sure you've done humping around yet. Christ. You did everything imaginable to make your marriage complicated, and now you're all shocked, Pikachu face, that it worked. And your marriage is complicated and fucked up. Is your next post going to be, am I the a-hole for touching a hot stove and expecting it to feel good? Another one. You're the a-hole. You effed around and found out. The open relationship was fine when it was with you and what you wanted, but now it's what he wants, and it's a bad thing. The hypocrisy is mind-blowing, but hardly surprising. All that has mattered to you is what you want. You can divorce him if you want, but you need to at least admit the divorce will be the result of your own actions. You want to F around, and you're now reaping the consequences. The poor kid is the one I feel sorry for. Question, why did you have your hoe phase before you got married? Anyway, I feel bad for the kid. Whoever's child this is, I question whether her husband is the father here, and the other one born into this effed up situation. One more. This guy says, you're the a-hole. Open marriages never work. They just don't. I have no sympathy for you or for your want to focus on your family. You chose to be a hoe. You want an open relationship to get dicked down by every guy you can imagine. You are a W-H-O-R-E. I gotta watch what I'm saying, so I'm gonna start spelling things at this point. I can't blame your husband. He has no reason to respect you because of your HOE-like actions. You had the chance to choose monogamy and building a family, and you chose being a HOE. So enjoy the consequences, you HOE. I hope your husband enjoys the side piece he's got that isn't pregnant and are trying to bang other dudes all the time like you. Amen. So she made her bed, she can lie in it, but it's always amazed me. No accountability. She created this mess, and she did her story, and then everybody was tearing apart in the comment section. She's like, I guess you're right. Nope, it's over. So gentlemen, your girlfriend or wife brings this up: open relationship, open marriage, polyamory, whatever the fuck it is, whatever she chooses to call it, swinging, whatever, it's over. And I'm sorry, it's over. And a lot of guys get so blindsided by this. Or they just start dropping hints, testing the waters. Either she's hooking up with somebody else or she has somebody in mind. And it will be easy if she's remotely attractive. You have plenty of news to nail her. It's a lot harder for a guy. She doesn't love you because no woman would ever want to, if she loved her husband, would ever want any other guy. And certainly wouldn't want him with other women. Kind of common sense, no brainer. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.